What's up? Welcome back. I'm going to continue this series on the best platform to post content on if you're a personal trainer, and we're going to be talking about YouTube in this one. YouTube is by far probably the specialty. I've worked on a lot of different channels on YouTube, probably managed close to 10 different channels for health and fitness related content. And I want to share with you guys some of my experience and also leave you with the exact strategy that I think personal trainers should be taking if you're new to YouTube, as well as the software that's going to actually help you get there that I've used for a lot of my clients and the channels that I work on. Now, I've kind of done a lot of research and just refreshing my mind on the YouTube space, on the algorithm itself, and read some research from a lot of people that work at Google. Now, Google is, owns YouTube. And what that means is YouTube actually funnels a lot of content when you search any questions into Google. So we're going to be talking about that in a little bit when I circle back on the strategy that I would recommend to you if you're a personal trainer who wants to get started on YouTube. So let's get straight into the algorithm itself. The first thing that the algorithm is picking up on is what we call CTR. Your click-through rate is going to be the amount of people that see your thumbnail, all right, and then click on it. An impression is what's called right when your thumbnail appears in somebody's screen. So whether they're on their phone or their desktop, as they scroll through, the second the pixels of your thumbnail appear on the screen, that's an impression. Okay, so some of these things you can control and some of these you can't, but you can control this by having good thumbnails. Now, what Google recommends for thumbnails is that they've seen after kind of analyzing all the thumbnails is having 1 to 3 faces with kind of very larger than life expressions is going to be the best way that you can increase your click-through rate when it comes to thumbnails. When you have more than 3 faces, there seems to be a drop-off, and if you don't have any facial expressions in your thumbnail, there also seems to be a drop-off. The next thing that's also controllable is watch time. All right, so what percentage and for how long, it's a little clock, for how long do people actually watch your video? Now, after doing a lot of research on this, 7 minutes is going to be the amount of watch time that's actually going to bump your video up and allow YouTube to kind of pick it up, and sometimes it will take off even if you have a small channel. So trying to get your watch time up to 7 minutes is going to be beneficial, but also just the overall percentage. So let's say you just post a video that's 4 minutes long. Well, you're not going to have a watch time of 7 minutes, but if the average person watches 3 minutes of that video, you have a 75% watch time, which is great. Even on some of the bigger channels, like the ones that I post on that have over 500,000 subscribers, the watch time on a good video will be close to 50%. So watch time is definitely something that you can control. Of course, you can be engaging, you can try to involve hooks in your video, etc. But watch time is going to be the second thing that you can control that stimulates the YouTube algorithm that's going to help you guys out. The next thing is views from your channel. Okay, your video is going to get bumped up in the search results for anyone that has watched your previous videos. Okay, so if you're putting out content, for example, that's similar to previous content that has done well, that chances are that's going to be bumped up in the algorithm for your subscribers or for anybody that's trying to find you. So your overall views from your channel, as those increase, your ability to show up in the YouTube algorithm is going to increase. The next thing that's going to pop up and be really important when we're talking about YouTube algorithm is if anybody has recently watched your content. As soon as somebody watches your content, chances are it's going to show up as a suggested video. All right, so the YouTube algorithm pays attention to people that have recently watched your channel and they promote other videos that they might want to watch as well. Okay, really 1 and 2 are the main ones that you guys are going to want to focus on and control. The rest are all trickle down, but it's still really important to gauge some of your content, be able to create videos that will incentivize all 7 of these to happen. Okay, YouTube also pays attention to everything that the user or account has searched for in the YouTube algorithm, or just on YouTube in general, and it's going to show them content that's not only what they've recently watched or from channels that they've recently watched, but anything that's relevant to the past searches. So if you searched for something and there were no videos on it, let's say somebody posts a great video, it gets picked up by the YouTube algorithm because they did a great job at steps 1 through 4. Now it might show up when you come back and log into your YouTube homepage because it corresponded to a past search. Okay, so YouTube pays attention to everything that has been previously searched, as well as past views. So anything that, let's say, somebody binges a lot of MMA content, it's going to load up their suggested videos with everything relevant to what they've previously watched. Now, the last thing that is important to understand in the algorithm is YouTube pays attention to the demographic, the info like age, gender, and location of each YouTube account, and feeds them content that's relevant to that. So if something happened in your local area that's relevant to that person, YouTube might show that video and promote it on their homepage or suggested videos. So with all of this said, the main thing that I want to drive home for YouTube and really all platforms in general is these platforms get paid with advertising, okay? So YouTube makes the big bucks by running ads on their videos. And the question you need to ask is, how does YouTube make more money? YouTube makes more money by having people stay on YouTube for longer periods of time. So to summarize all of this in a very simple way, it's YouTube's going to start promoting all the content that's going to keep people on their platform for longer and longer and longer. So if your channel is dying, for example, chances are it's not engaging the viewers that are on it, and sometimes they leave YouTube after watching your videos, or they don't watch all your videos. Two channels side by side, one that has high view duration, one that has low view duration, YouTube's always going to be feeding new people and new subscribers and new views towards the channel that has a high watch time and a high click-through rate, because it's going to keep the viewers on YouTube for longer, increase their advertising dollars, so their company value goes up. So the real equation is expected watch time per impression. So as soon as that video appears on whoever's screen is on YouTube, YouTube wants to say, we're going to put the best video that's going to have the highest expected watch time per impression. And so if you can do a good job with your channel on steps 1 through 7, your channel is going to blow up. Okay? Now, it can be hard to get here, especially since there's new YouTube channels starting every single day. So consistency is going to be really key. If you look at a lot of the YouTube channels, they have very, very specific niches. Although I, for example, like to post all kinds of stuff, and I'm not necessarily trying to blow up this YouTube channel. I'm really just trying to provide value and things that I've learned. But consistency on one specific thing, like editing tutorials, for example, or if I were to just focus this entire channel on content that's relevant for personal trainers, it would have a higher percentage of increasing all these things, because people would be wanting to watch my videos over and over again because I've selected and narrowed down a very small demographic. So consistency is going to be very key in the type of content you're posting, but also when you post. You're going to want to stay consistent, just like working out. You're not going to gain muscle if you're 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. You want to stay consistent, and that's going to make a very big difference on your YouTube channel picking up. If you install a software, for example, and you post every single day, you will see views going up and up and up and up. If you install that same software that shows you all that information, and you post for 1 week, you leave it be, the views will go down. You post for another week, etc. SEO is also going to be very important because Google owns YouTube. It is very much a search engine optimized platform when you're starting out. So that means being very selective in the titles that you're using, the videos that you're using, and driving home the fact that you want to create content that's searchable, okay? So you would want to film videos on how to do the Romanian deadlift, how to do the barbell hip thrust. Does saunas increase my health? Anything that you can search for, or anything that you would be searching for, that's what you're going to want to be posting. YouTube also transcribes all the audio and all the dialogue within the video and looks for snippets or featured snippets that they can promote on Google to answer a specific question that somebody's asking. So playing the question game and playing the SEO game, if you're a personal trainer on YouTube, is going to be very smart. I mentioned the thumbnails, some additional tricks for getting noticed on YouTube. You know, having 1 to 3 faces in the thumbnail with larger than life expressions. Also creating binge-worthy content. What does that mean? That means playlists. YouTube doesn't just have playlists in there for no reason. It has playlists so that you can utilize them with binge-worthy content so that they can increase the view duration of your channel and therefore increase advertising dollars, right? It all comes down to that. And another way to increase, you know, your watch time is, you know, have a hook in the beginning of the video. A lot of you, I don't necessarily like this. Sometimes when I see YouTubers and they're like, stay to the end because blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it pisses me off, but it does definitely help, okay? So you can encourage them with a hook. For example, I'm gonna be showing you guys the Romanian deadlift. At the end of this video, I'm gonna be showing you what I love to superset with this, for example. That would be an example. Okay, now let's get to the very end. The last 2 things I wanna leave you with is software. It is smart if you are just starting out and you're serious about this and you have the budget to purchase a software that's going to help you on YouTube. There's 2 that I've dabbled with. One is called vidIQ and the other is called TubeBuddy. I currently have TubeBuddy installed on this YouTube channel. And so what I'm able to do is actually search for a potential title of video. It shows me the search volume of that topic. And then it also shows me the amount of videos or the competition that I'm facing on YouTube when somebody searches that in. That will help me determine if this is a good video to shoot, for example, and if it's not, I don't need to waste my time shooting on it. Since there's so many exercise channels on YouTube, it can be a great way to identify potential list of 100 videos. You input every single one into the search and it will, TubeBuddy and vidIQ, but TubeBuddy will show you the exact, you know, score out of 100 of whether or not that's a good video for you to shoot based on the competition. So if I were to start a personal training channel right now, this would be my strategy. I would want to go to Google Trends. Okay, you can go to googletrends.com. Okay, I want to go to Google Trends and I want to look at the health and wellness category. All right, I want to look at the top searches in the United States over the past 48 hours, 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, the year. And I want to see if any of those videos would make for good content. Am I knowledgeable about any of those videos? Could I do the research? For example, I checked this the other day and I think salt consumption and dehydration was one of the top trending searches. All right. Now, I wouldn't think of that if I didn't hop on Google Trends to check out health and fitness to see what people were searching relevant to that niche. So it can give you good ideas as to what's high search volume. Then once I create different titles or different content around that, I would come into TubeBuddy or I would come into, you know, an SEO-based software that you can plug into YouTube, and I would search all those videos and I would see which ones have the lowest amount of competition. Then I would shoot those videos, I would title them correctly, I would tag them correctly. If you guys don't know how to do that, drop a comment below. I can go in and film a separate video on that. But it's basic, you know, adding tags to the video, making sure that those tags also show up in the description of your video, and embedding various links to different blog posts or different links to other sites that you've found information or other videos. The more links, the more keywords, and the more of your tags that show up in the description of the video that also match the title are going to help you out when it comes to SEO. Again, if you have TubeBuddy or something plugged in, you'll be actually able to monitor your SEO and see how your video scores when it comes to search engine optimization. That way, I would be able to steal some of the traffic coming in from Google Trends and some of the hottest search topics, and they'd be able to find me on YouTube based off of good SEO. So this is really reverse engineering the process of what content to shoot so that you can get yourself in front of people while keeping in mind all of these 7 things that are going to help bump up your overall traffic on YouTube. The last thing that I would do in addition to that is film simple how-to videos. Be very organic, be very natural. Talk to the camera just like you're talking to a client. Don't think that it's going to be like 1,000 people watching you or 200,000 people watching you where you're saying, hey guys, etc., etc. Just talk to one person like I'm talking to you right now. Focus on providing the most value in the least amount of time, showing how to do the exercise. You don't need to show off with a ton of weight or anything like that. Just literally film all the exercises that you know, and then create binge-worthy series, transformation series. It would be day in the lives. It would be a vlog, for example, getting them attached to some aspect of your life so that you can increase views from your channel. You can increase the amount of recent subscribers that have watched your channel, and the amount of past views from your channel, all right? While thinking about the thumbnails, while thinking about a way to increase viewership or view durations in your watch time, okay? All this stuff is gonna be very useful for you as a personal trainer starting out at YouTube. So I hope this video was helpful. If there's specific questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll see them.